I'd be surprised if we don't win either a European Championship or a World Cup within the next decade or so. It's quite easy not to win a World Cup, isn't it? But to be the best side not to win the World Cup is another matter.
It's very easy to not win a World Cup if you're English. We're specialists how not to do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we always, whatever the team, the hype of an England team, isn't it, going into any major tournament, is that we always should do better. We always think that we have a chance.
I think there have been times in our history where that's probably been justified, the players that have been. Yeah. But the other times where I don't think that was necessarily the case, you know, like 2010, 2014, certainly times where you couldn't really give England much of a chance because they didn't have the strength.
You know what, you played in two. Did you genuinely believe that you could go into that World Cup winning it beforehand?
Italia 90.
Did you, yeah?
Yeah. Not 86, I thought we did better than, especially with conditions there, with altitude, this extreme heat that we faced. But in 90, I thought, and particularly as the tournament progressed, and you know, we went as close as you can
How
go
much
to
of that
reaching
is
a final.
mentality, though, would you say?
Well, a lot is mentality, because you've got to be able to deal with it, haven't you? You've got to be able to deal with...
Or is it being English, thinking that we're just better than everyone else and we're in our own
I don't think there is that. I think every country is the same. I think because we live here and we know what it's like here, but I've also lived in I lived in Spain. The expectation there's
huge.
It's huge as well, and because they've got so many good players, they think the same as we. And especially when you start to do reasonably well, expectations get probably unrealistically high, because you really want it to happen so much. So don't think that that's just an English thing, but it's really, really hard to win a World Cup.
What are the chances this time?
I think England now are going to be in a period where they will be very competitive in all the tournaments that come up. We've got a great young group of players. There's a couple of areas where you might say we're a little bit short, but that's probably the same of every team. But we have a lot of talent. And I'd be surprised if we don't win either a European Championship or a World Cup within the next decade or so.
If we don't, then we never will, because I think this pool of talent that England have now, that they've been working towards for a long time, and most of them have got experience now. I mean, when you look at the last two tournaments, semi-final and a final. So, I think it's a matter of time.
A lot of people are starting to not call for his head, Gareth, but I think he's done a brilliant job.
But that's just part of the job. You couldn't possibly, just because of those... I thought we missed a trick in the summer, England, personally. I think
not having it off.
I think he should have rested all the players. And I know all the other teams, none of them did that. This Nations League or whatever is not that important. But I think we missed a trick. I think he could have given them all a rest. They could have all had a good month, 5 weeks off, and then come back, Winter World Cup. They'll be full of beans for it. But we didn't. He played them. They all looked tired. All you do is you lose a little bit of the momentum that you've had. But we'll see. It might, Gareth's done brilliantly. He's got you got a World Cup semi-final and just missing out in the Euros. But we'll see.